Hello and welcome to another tutorial for setting up a Bukkit server. Um, Today, since we have our server all set up and explained, we're actually going to be starting to use plugins, which I said I would explain a tiny bit. To start, why don't you go into your plugins folder, which is embedded inside your server folder, and I'm going to explain these two plugins. I'm going to explain Economy and Essentials. So both of these have download links in the description if you would like to follow along. If not, you may just watch, and I am highly doubting you will have I'm Scared, a Pixelated Nightmare inside your downloads folder. I had forgotten to remove that before starting the tutorial, but I think we can work around it. Anyway, so let's start by let me start by explaining. Economy is an economy plugin which allows you to pretty much have a server economy going on, which can be buying and selling blocks, to sending money to people, receiving money to people, etc. And that's pretty much what Economy is. It's a very lightweight plugin. As you can see, it's only 163 kilobytes, and it's very simple to use, and it has very little configuration. Now on to Essentials. Essentials is a plugin which pretty much comes with the Essentials, and you can't see right now, but I'm putting air quotes around Essentials because that's what they call it. They call it the Essentials of Bukkit, and those are just a ton of extra commands which you can use in your server, and it's actually an amazing plugin, and it's one of my favorites. Right now, we are actually only going to be dropping in 3 of the Essentials plugins in here. It comes with a total of 5, but we only need to use 3, or I only am going to show 3 right now. And let's start by dropping in Essentials Spawn, Essentials Chat, and Essentials.jar. We will only use these 3. The other ones, Essentials Anti-Build and Essentials Protect, are not needed. They're not required. The only one, none of these are actually required. The only one that's required is Essentials. So we don't need these, but I'm going to use them this tutorial. And you can delete this right after you're done, if you'd like. And then we're going to drop economy.jar into the plugins folder, and we can close the downloads folder. So here we can navigate back to the server main folder and click start.batch. And when we click this, the server will load, and you'll notice that instead of the normal lines of code, you'll actually see many more lines of code running because Essentials is creating, is starting up, and so is Economy. So that's all you need to start it up. We will then go onto our server from here. We can go to Minecraft, and then we can go to, alright, that's good. We can go to multiplayer, direct connect, and by default, I have put in localhost as the server address. You can choose to connect to your IP address, although localhost pretty much means your IP address, so either one will work. If you have port forwarded correctly, then your server will be able to be joined, and you can join by pressing join server, as always. And let's try logging in. And if you look here, I have logged in correctly. I am now on the server. Now, here's the thing. I have not opt myself yet, and I'm going to do that right now. So to do that, I would go to the ops.txt, and I would type in my username. And we can save it and close. Now, the only problem with this is that I have to restart the server to become an op. So what I can do for that is I can type stop, and it'll kick me from the server, and then I can press the start.batch again, and it will start up. Now that it's started up, I can do direct connect, localhost, and connect. Alright, now I'm connected. If you see, my name is now highlighted in red because I'm now an operator, and I can type game mode. I think it goes like this. Game mode creative walk There we go. Okay, so now I am in creative mode, which I can fly around and kind of show the world that has been generated. Um, so here's the world, and to access essentials, we type /help, and the help pages pop up. If you look, we have 14 pages of help. You normally only have one page of help, but since essentials is on the server, we will have many, many more pages. But here we can type help essentials, if I can spell that correctly. And if you look here, it says the commands for essentials. You have AFK, backup, all these different ones. And I will be using a tiny bit of them to kind of show around, but really none of them, pretty much all of them are self-explanatory, and I'll be showing the configuration file. So first I'm going to start with AFK. If I type /AFK, it says I am AFK. If I start moving around again, it should automatically send me back to no longer AFK. I can also do ban commands, ban, and then a name, and then I can do ban IP, which I explained a little while back, and that would ban an IP. I can do balance, and this would be linked with economy, so this is where economy comes in. So the way economy works is, so let's skip on over to economy. If I type /money, I get my money, which is economy, and I can send money, pay, and then a name, and then, money, pay, and the amount of money, and then a name. Okay, one more time. Money, pay, name, and then the amount of money. Okay, so if I type this command, it would send money to the username name, and it would send them the amount of money I requested here. So if I wanted to send $30 to the username name, it could work, although the username name doesn't exist yet, because the person named name has not come onto the server yet. So that's how economy works, and there's many different parts to it, although that's kind of the gist of it. And now I'm going to jump off the server by typing /stop, and it will kick me from the server, and I can go back to the title screen. I'm going to show a bit of configuration for these guys. When you launch, when you put these in here, data folders are created for them. Essentials creates a data folder named Essentials, Economy creates a data folder named Economy, and by default a folder named Plugin Metrics is created. And you don't need to worry about this, this is just a little personal thing certain plugins use, and that's quite okay. So if we go back and we go, let's start with Essentials configuration, we have many, many different parts of Essentials. We have config, items, message of the day, upgrades done, and worth. And there's user data and warps. User data is where when a user logs on, their user data file is automatically created. For example, my user file was created, and it saves things such as a location, the last location, etc. Actually, it doesn't seem to be doing it this time. But it saves your, actually, yes it did. It saves your login location, it saves your IP address, and it saves if you're AFK or not. Now, if we go back to warps, we have not created any warps, but in Essentials you have the ability to create a warp, and when you create a warp, it saves that location, and you can type /warp and then the warp name, and it brings you to that saved location. So it's really helpful if you have like maybe a building on the other side of the world, and you do set warp building, and then you're in the spawn and you want to get to that building really quickly, you can do a warp building and you'll get to that location. Oops, okay. So my computer automatically changed the theme to a faster one, and that's okay. Anyway, continuing on. Here in the config.yml, we have a lot of stuff to go through. If you look, this is a very big config.yml, but I'll skim through it really quickly. So here's the Essentials global, and these are all the global commands that you can configure. Yeah, I think that's the right word. And so you can change the ops name color, the name prefix, display name, etc. And there's stuff like teleportation cooldown if you don't want people to teleport an extreme amount of times over and over again. Delays, blacklists for items you don't want to spawn, and other things. So there's also social spy commands. Social spy is a part of Essentials that allows you to watch what people are doing. If they are sending private messages back and forth, you can see the private messages that are being sent. It's kind of creepy, but it's actually very helpful at times. And then there's the player commands, and this is a very, very simple permission system. We will not go over this because we will go over permissions in a group manager tutorial, but we don't need that right now. Kits. Kits are parts of Essentials that allow you to give a user a kit when they type a command /kit and then the kit name. So if you wanted a user to get a kit, which would give them 5 diamonds each day, they could type /kit and then maybe diamonds, and it would give them 5 diamonds. So it's a very simple way to give them something to start off with, like maybe wooden tools when they first join the server. And then there's enabled signs, and these are very helpful actually. If you wanted to make a market and you didn't want to have to pay users many times over and over again, you could use signs to kind of allow them to buy them without someone being there. So the sell sign is one of those signs, and there's a buy sign above it. And so if you wanted to have someone walk into a market and buy 5 diamonds, you could have a sign that says buy, and they could buy those diamonds from you with the specified sign. And the reason these are commented out right now is because they are not enabled, but to enable one, all you do is delete the comment or the hashtag, and it will do that for you. And then there's a backup system. Backup I will not be going into today because many people will not need that right now, but maybe later on. And then there's a permission to remove God on disconnect, and that pretty much means if someone is in the God mode and they disconnect from the server, it will set them off of God mode, but right now we can keep that at false. And then there's just so many more permissions, such as Essentials Home, which pretty much manages everything that has to do with houses, and there's Set Home, etc. Essentials Eco you will not be using because we're using Economy. And Economy is a very good part of any server. It's a wonderful plugin, and I really like it. It's one of my favorites. And that's why you will not be using Essentials Economy, but rather iEconomy. And then there's Essentials Help, which gives you help commands, which I kind of showed a couple minutes ago. And then there's Essentials Chat, which I will be talking about. Essentials Protect, which you can disable certain things such as lava flow, water flow, fire spread, etc. And all you do is change true from false or vice versa. And you can change what monsters spawn, such as creeper, skeleton, spider, etc. And then there's anti-build, which you will not be using because I will introduce you into World Guard and World Edit in the next tutorial. Essential Spawn I will actually explain briefly. It allows you to set a spawn point for when a person joins the server where they will spawn. It also gives you an announcement format. So you could say welcome, and then the person who joins name, and then it'll say to the server. So if I join the server for the first time, it'll say welcome walk2222 to the server. And this AND is actually a color code, so it'll say my name in that color AND. I don't remember what AND is for a color, but it's something. Maybe red. And you can always set the spawn point with the /spawn command in Essentials. So let's save this and close, and we can move on to Worth. Worth is for Essentials Economy. The best idea if you're going to use Economy is to delete this file. Not necessarily delete the file, but everything in it. So you would have to select everything with Control A and press Delete and then Save. The reason we're doing this is because since we're using Essentials Economy, people would be able to sell things with their hands, which is not a good thing, and we want to disable that because you do not want two economies going on at the same exact time. Items.csv we can take a look at, but pretty much what it is it just it's just a little way for Essentials to read the whatever it's called, the items in Minecraft. You really don't need to mess with this. I highly suggest you don't mess with it. Yeah. Message of the day, you can set a message of the day, which means when a player joins, it'll say, "Welcome, player." Type help for a list of commands, and then it'll say currently online, and then the player list. So that's how you configure the message of the day. And upgrade's done. Inside of here, it'll just update everything, and I highly suggest you keep that the same. And so that explains Essentials. Let me see how much time I've gone to right now. Actually, yeah, that is quite long. I will end the video here, and in the next tutorial, instead of doing World Guard and World Edit, I will just do Economy, and then I will do World Guard and World Edit after that. Thanks for watching. See you later.